Hello and welcome back to Team Fortress 2 with Bobson, playing a bit of Barn Blitz today, simply because it's a snowy map, so it's December, it's Christmas time, I figured I'd play some snowy maps this year. So, let's see, what do I want to talk about while I am playing around on my heavy and trying to kill as many people as possible? Let's see. Well, there was something I wanted to talk about, a discussion I had with somebody, but first let me put it out there, get updates on my channel. Let's see. Albino Lullaby should be finishing up tomorrow. Last episode should be out tomorrow. More Fallout should be coming out next week. Not sure what it's going to be. I'm kind of nearing the end of Fallout New Vegas, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing after that. I might actually go back and play the first Fallout. I've actually thought about doing that, so yeah, that's something to look forward to. But more Fallout New Vegas next week. More Terraria. Those of you who missed it last week, I did actually enter hard mode. I entered hard mode last Thursday in my Thursday episode of Terraria. So next week should be me going through hard mode and dying constantly to all the new extremely hard mobs. So yeah, that's something to look forward to next week. As far as what my new Let's Play is going to be, I think I might actually pick up the new expansion for Don't Starve and maybe give that a try for this coming Wednesday to replace Albino Lullaby. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't even purchased it yet, so I might pick that up over this coming weekend because I am recording this on Friday, so I'll see about doing that for next week. So, what is that I want to talk about this week? Well, I had a conversation with one of my friends on Steam regarding, like, online accounts and people getting their stuff stolen and like that. And it got me thinking about that because he was talking about somebody on one of the Team Fortress 2 servers bragging that he was hacking accounts and spamming his YouTube channel and stuff like that. And my friend said he's probably going to be in trouble with the police now because he was hacking accounts. And that got me to thinking, and we actually talked about it a bit, and would that actually cause him legal troubles? Someone hacking an account. And it got me thinking about this whole thing, with the whole escrow thing on Steam now, and the whole 3-day waiting period and authenticators. They're doing this to keep people from getting their accounts hacked. And is it actually illegal to get your account? Is having your account hacked? Could the person actually get in trouble? And that got me thinking about that. Because from a legal standpoint, what could the police do? If you actually got your account hacked, if someone accessed your account, stole all your Team Fortress 2 items, could you go to the police and actually do something about that? I highly doubt there's anything the police could actually do if you did that. Let's say you got your Steam account hacked, someone accessed it, and you went to the police. What do you think they would actually do? What could they do? And from a legal standpoint, what could they do? I mean, technically, depending on the laws, local, state, federal, whatever. And let me clarify, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police officer, I don't know laws inside and out. And I'm talking from the perspective of someone who lives in the United States. So I don't know, maybe the laws in your country or your region or whatever are more up to date when it comes to this type of thing. But in the United States, laws tend to lag behind modern developments. So yeah, there's that. I'm just wanting to clarify that. So if you actually went to the police, do you think they could do anything or would do anything simply because someone accessed your account? And my thoughts is no, they wouldn't be able to do anything really. Well, it all depends on what actually happened, because the first thing they would ask you is what happened, and was anything stolen or like that. And if you told them that my entire TF2 inventory, all my weapons, all my game items were stolen, that's not really something they can help you with, because those are all virtual items. Those aren't like real items. They're not something they can put into legal terms as being stolen from a legal standpoint. So they wouldn't even be able to help you with that. All they would be able to do is talk to you about the fact that your account was illegally and without your permission accessed remotely by someone else. So I highly doubt they would give you very much priority when it came to that sort of thing. I mean, just accessing your account may count as a crime, it may count as fraud or theft or something along those lines, but it really depends on the law and how they interpret it, how they can actually handle it and put it into a legally definable criminal term. Let me explain what I mean. If someone accesses your account and steals something, like uses your bank account, your credit cards to make purchases or transfer money out of your bank account, that's something that the police can get involved with. That's something they can put a name on because that's bank fraud. So they can put it to a legitimate crime. And they can pursue legal matters, legal avenues to actually investigate that. And the reason is because online crimes like that are on the books. They're part of laws that have been put into place dealing with online fraud, online banking problems like that. Those are actual crimes that have been put on the books. And another example is something that happened recently, well, I say recently, over the past year, was it? Where a bunch of celebrities got their accounts hacked. There was this big, huge deal in the news about how this company, it was either a phone company, was it a phone company or an image sharing company or something like that, had their entire servers hacked due to a exploited security issue they had. Someone got into their system, accessed tons of people's accounts, including tons of celebrities. And these celebrities had photos and stuff they had taken on their smartphones and uploaded and to their private accounts, and all these photos were stolen, including nude photos of a bunch of dozens of different celebrities had nude photos of themselves on their phones, and they were all stolen and leaked out onto the internet. And this is an example of what I'm talking about, of the police being able to put a actual crime to what you're trying to report, in that their photos were stolen. It was illegally accessed, it was hacked into, and their photos were stolen. And what the celebrities did and their lawyers did was they used the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, to put copyright claims on all the photos that were being leaked and shared or posted around the internet, which gave the federal government, gave the FBI a legitimate legal precedence to go after the people who were doing this, because copyright infringement is a federal crime, and sharing and downloading and stuff like that is technically a federal crime. So they had legal precedence to do it. So yeah, this gave them the right to do it. They pursued it, they went after it, and it was also helped by the fact that these were celebrities, and they made a very public and direct stink about it, and it actually made the news. So there was a very public demand, very public viewpoint on the criminal justice system to actually do something about this. But when it comes to stuff like your Steam account, if your Steam account is hacked into, if you go to a phishing website and someone steals your password, that's not as big of a priority for the police, unless they use your Steam wallet funds, use your bank funds and stuff like that. Because if all they do is access your account and steal your virtual items, then there's not much the police can do about that. For the simple fact, these are virtual items, they're not real, they're not something that can be quantifiably stolen, because they still exist within the game system. They're still on Steam. They're not real, they're not something that the police actually have any real precedence to deal with. And as much as this is going to be strange to say, you do not technically own your Steam items, your Team Fortress 2 items, your Counter-Strike Go, Dota. And allow me to explain. You own them within the context of the game. You've gotten them through grinding, you've traded for them, whatever. You own them in the context of the game. But from a legal standpoint, from the standpoint of the law, they are not your property. And you can see this when you actually read the terms of service for Team Fortress 2 and Steam and stuff like that. Every time you actually sit down and read those terms of services, you'll see that all game items, all game assets are the sole property and intellectual property of the game creator, of the game company, in this case Valve for Team Fortress 2 items. So they own the items. They are their property. They give you access to them through Steam. You own them within the context of Steam, but you do not own them from a legal standpoint. You couldn't go to a court of law and argue that this is your property, you own it, and Steam has no right to take it away from you. I mean, if you ever did something that gets your Steam account suspended or shut down for whatever reason, and I don't mean just back banned where you can't access Steam game servers, I mean like your entire account gone. You couldn't go to a court of law and argue that your Team Fortress 2 inventory belongs to you. It doesn't matter if you have hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and unusual hats and like that. That's not technically your property. And yeah, that's its own thing, you know? It's virtual items, virtual things like that really have no real world equivalent to that you could actually put into real legal terms. I mean, it's all Steam items. Your Team Fortress 2 inventory is your Team Fortress 2 inventory. Even though you have all these items, they're stuck there. You can't remove them from Team Fortress 2. They are in Team Fortress 2. You couldn't like transfer them to another game or another service beyond Steam. So yeah, it's exclusively there. So yeah, you don't actually own your Team Fortress 2 items. Steam owns them, Valve owns them. So yeah. And there's really no precedence in the law, in the government, or anywhere to really say that you do own them. So if they ever got stolen, then technically the law could not really do anything. And yeah, it's just stolen within the game. You can't actually go to the police and say, oh no, my Team Fortress 2 inventory was stolen. I mean, hell, there was an entire episode about this on The Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon got his MMO account hacked and all of his in-game items were stolen. And he called the police. And the police officer was there taking his report and kind of just rolling his eyes at him. And I really do think that's what would happen if you actually tried to go to the police with something like this. If your Steam account got hacked into and all your Team Fortress 2 items were stolen. That's exactly the kind of situation you would be in. And for the simple fact, if you can get your Steam account back. If your account is hacked into and somebody takes it, you have to go through a long process, answer questions, go through Steam support, but you can get your Team Fortress, you can get your account back and maybe get your items back. So there's nothing really the police could do to help you in that regard. And there's also the issue of international problems if the person who is hacking your account is in another country. Do you really think the police are going to go through massive amounts of red tape to file charges against the person, find this person, file charges against them, and have them extradited from their home country? And do you really think their home country is going to extradite them because they illegally accessed your Steam account? So, yeah. And this whole conversation just got me thinking about this. I mean, I just don't know. It's a lot to do with the laws regarding this stuff, whether or not it's actually illegal, whether or not the severity of how illegal it is, whether or not simply accessing someone else's account without their permission could get them in serious legal trouble, or whether or not they would have to actually also do something else to compound that severity, such as bank fraud stuff like accessing their bank account, accessing their credit cards, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's it's kind of just a gray area. I don't really know. The laws are starting to catch up in regards to this kind of stuff, but whether or not they are fully caught up, and whether or not you would even get priority with the police, and whether or not they would even have the offices to handle this kind of thing, because at least in the United States, if your local police department doesn't have a cyber crimes unit, a division that actually handles online criminal activity, then they would have to just put you forward to the next chain in the command, which would usually be local federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, which does have a online cyber criminal stuff. So yeah, it is this whole thing, and this conversation I had with a friend of mine just got me thinking about it. Plus this whole Steam escrow trading thing got me thinking about it as well, because that's the whole point of the Steam escrow thing, is to slow down the number of people who are getting their accounts hacked, and even if they do get their accounts login information stolen, to stop them from having their items stolen. So yeah, well, I guess that's enough for me, really. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about this week, kind of. Not really, but it's a conversation I had. I just thought I'd share it with you and my thoughts on the whole thing. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Bobson. This has been more Team Fortress 2. Christmas is nearing. Christmas sales should be starting probably next week. Maybe. Hopefully. Christmas is not too far away. 2 weeks away. So, hopefully it's starting next week. And the sales will be up, and something new and exciting will be happening during the sales and stuff like that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.